What's going on, guys? Today we're going to talk about UPCs, GTINs, FNSKUs, ASINs, GTIN exemptions. Essentially all you need to know for when it comes to barcodes, when you need them, how you need them, where to get them from, how to save some money doing it, what order do you need to get them in, because that does matter, and what they all mean. So a complete guide for Amazon barcodes and barcodes in general. That way you can get your listing up, that way you can make your shipping plans, that way you don't potentially screw up and cause issues down the line. Before I hop on my screen and we get going, please make sure to hit that subscribe button down below. Otherwise, let's get into it. As you can see here, there's a lot of different barcodes. We got 1D barcodes, EANs, GS1 128s, UPCE, EAN8 barcode, ITF14 barcode. So this mainly was to scare you a little bit. It doesn't need to get this complex. It's as simple as this, guys. So this is a UPC code. So the UPC code is this scannable barcode right here, where the GTIN is this number down below here. Okay, so UPC, GTIN, think of them the same thing. They're a different number altogether. Obviously your UPC and GTIN will be different, but they're assigned together. They're part of the same package here. So why is the UPC important? Well, this is the universal product code, where the GTIN stands for global trade item number. So essentially this is the gatekeeping for identifying products. Think of a social security card for your product for the global market. This helps businesses like Walmart put them on their shelves, know exactly what's in inventory, scan it, know the price, everything like this. Now, this is not what Amazon wants on their product packaging when they get sent into Amazon. So that's what makes it confusing. But they do want the UPC or GTIN here, again, it could be either one, to list on Amazon. So you're like, why do they want that? Well, they do it just to make sure that you're legit. We're going to talk about how you can have this without a GTIN on here a little later, but I want to walk through all the steps. So if we want to list a product on Amazon, we have to get a UPC, okay? Yes, I'm going to talk about how to get exempt from that, but if you want to do it the right way and you're going to do this for the long term, just get a UPC. So if you have a single product, you can get one single barcode here. This is GS1 US, by the way, guys. So you can just Google this GS1 US here. You can see barcodes right here. This is the standard of barcodes. This is where you want to go if you don't want to accidentally get a recycled barcode, or Amazon doesn't see that's in the GS1 barcode database, which they link up. So when you put a UPC in, Amazon can actually see if that's registered to your brand name, your company, and is good to go and ready to use. So if you need one barcode, I recommend GS1 US, whereas like nationwide barcodes here that are super cheap barcodes, this could be attached in the GS1 database to another brand, and it simply just won't work, and it'll be very frustrating to deal with. We can see one here is $12. If we get a single one here on GS1, just by clicking get a single barcode, we see this is $30 right here. So $18 more to get it from the legit source makes a lot more sense to me than risking a lot of issues here. Now where it gets pricey, and I want to talk about how we can save some money here, is when we buy packs of 10, 100, 1,000, 10,000. If you have multiple variations, right, you're going to need one UPC per variation. So if you have t-shirts, you have a small, medium, large, and then you have 3 colors, red, yellow, green, you're going to need a total of 9 different UPCs to put onto Amazon for each specific variation. So a quick trick here to save a little bit of money is look into different countries with GS1. So GS1 is global, UPCs are global, GTINs are global. So meaning if I go to the UK, gs1uk.org here, these still work in the American market. So we can see right here, 10 GTINs, $50 per year. We see 100 here, 100 pounds per year. Go through this, there's gonna be some small fees as far as, depending on what your business does, but we should be underneath here. We can already see that's much cheaper than what we're dealing with in the US. There's also Australia, GS1, Canada, GS1. There might be a few more out there, but go check pricing when it comes to all the different marketplaces for GS1. You can also, guys, say you have 3 variations, right? You don't want to buy a pack of 10. We'll add some right here. Okay, so $30 a pop. Here you go. You just put your brand name in here. Make sure this matches exactly what you're going to put on Amazon, what you got your trademark on if you did get a trademark, because Amazon will see what it says on the back end of GS1. So we need to make sure everything matches up here. Just put a quick product description. Same thing with these 4 products. So if I do Happy Day Swingers, my famous golf collection set here, okay, I remove these and then we add to cart. Proceed to cart, and then you're just going to continue as new, sign up here. So obviously then you go ahead and complete all this information. The biggest thing to match up, again, guys, don't get too lost in the weeds in here. It's the brand name matching to what you're going to put on Amazon. So company name, obviously just put your company in here. If you don't have a company name in here, just put your brand name. That should be okay, just as a DBA essentially. Then the rest of your information, you go ahead and proceed to checkout. They're going to send you the UPC either by email or you're just going to log into your database and be able to grab that UPC from there. Now that we have our UPC and our GTIN and we know they're pretty much the same thing, different numbers, and we can use either number, just copy and paste it into Amazon. Now we're on to FNSKUs and ASINs. So what you're looking at here is an FNSKU. So this is the label you need to put on your products to be able to put into Amazon. What the FNSKU does is it identifies, this code right here identifies to Amazon the product as well as who the seller is. So think of an FNSKU as a label that tells Amazon what the product is and who the seller is. So it's their own version of a UPC, but with a little bit more details because it has two variables to it, seller and product. Okay, so now you're probably asking me, then what is the ASIN? I remember days when we just put the ASIN labels on a product and we called it good. Well, the ASIN is a similar number. The one thing it does not say is who the seller is. So if you have the option to send in with an ASIN, I would not personally do it. This makes it really hard to track down if anybody's selling counterfeit products on your listing because we both have the same ASIN labeled on our products, right? So we can't identify who the seller was. With the FNSKU, if someone else is hijacking your listing, they're going to have a different FNSKU than you, even for the same product, which we can identify that person to Amazon as counterfeit, blah, 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 all that good stuff. Hopefully that makes sense, guys. I know how kind of dull and lame barcodes are, but if we go back into the Amazon listing here, we see we need a UPC to actually make the product, okay? So in order, you need the UPC, then you create your listing, which you see right here. You put your UPC or GTIN in here. Again, doesn't matter. They'll give you both. You just copy paste one. You don't even have to switch this field anymore. Even if you have an EAN, which is just the European equivalent, just throw that bad boy in there. If you're in Europe, I expect you know how to get that. It's very similar to the GS1. We put our UPC or GTIN into here. We submit, and once the listing is live, we can go to manage inventory on our seller account, and there's going to be a drop down where you can print item labels. So again, to show you guys here, if we're in our Seller Central account, we go to our menu, inventory, manage all inventory. We go to our product here, obviously ignore the search, suppress, blah, blah, blah. It's just a sample listing. We go over here once our listing is ready to go, hit print item labels. This will prompt you to download a PDF with that FNSKU on it. You can then take this FNSKU and print it out with sticker labels to label your own products. My favorite thing to do is just give the PDF to the designer of my product packaging, have that put on the product packaging. And when my supplier makes, 1,000 units of packaging, it's all on my product, ready to go on the box. And you don't need multiple FNSKUs for the same product. It's going to be exactly the same. So you don't have to print 1,000 out, just print one out, put it on the product packaging. You're good to go. Now, another way to get here is send or replenish inventory. So we can click this with our new product here. It's going to go make a shipping plan for us, which is probably why we're going through this process anyways. We can make a shipping plan, and then Amazon will prompt us during that process to print item labels. So it's another way to get there. So if you're going to make a shipping plan, you could just go through this process right here to do that. But if you're just going to go work on, getting the designer to put in the box, you could just grab it here real quick. Obviously, there's 100 different ways to get to places, inventory, shipments. You can make a shipping plan from there as well. Now let's quickly cover the GTIN exemption. So why would you do this? I don't know. If you're going to sell a product for the long term, which is what I want to do, I'm just going to grab a $30 UPC to make sure everything is in the clear, okay? But if you are brand approved, okay, which I have videos on how to do that, you should be able just to click this box without a UPC and move on. But again, I recommend just getting the UPC for $30. If you got to buy more, that's fine. Another thing I want to cover here is if the product has variations, you click this, put in your theme here. So say it's the size. And then what's going to happen once you click this and put a theme in here, you're going to have this variations page right here. Now, say you have 3 different variations. We can have a small, a medium, a large, and then we see external right here, UPC, GTIN, UPC, GTIN. Again, never, in my opinion, if it's your private label product, use an ASIN to refer to the product. This only makes sense if you're wholesaling something, retail arbitraging something, or maybe relisting on your own product page. So UPC, GTIN here, you paste the code for each one. These will be all different. So you need 3 different barcodes, and then you're all set there. Obviously, there's a little bit more detail in that. If you want to see how to actually list a product, just type in Cameron James, list your product on Amazon FBA. Maybe I'll link it down below as well. So that's it, guys, on UPCs, GTINs, FNSKUs, ASINs, GTIN exemptions. Hopefully that made sense. Hopefully that cleared things up for you as well. Watch it a couple times if you have to. I know I kind of bounce from a place to place just because that's kind of how you have to explain it. So maybe just watch it a couple times if it didn't register, because once you understand this, then it's something you don't have to think about ever again. You just understand it. If you guys found that helpful, make sure you hit the subscribe button down below. And then I'm going to go ahead and link down below in the description how to list your product on Amazon, how to make a shipping plan, all those videos right there if you need to keep going in this process. That way you can just knock it out maybe in one day there. All right, guys, that's it. See you in the next one.